Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
arrived. To demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact. Glad you could be here. We've made it to the end of the week. Today is Friday, the 14th of March, right here. So we see two signs, which means there's a transition taking place today. Off to the right-hand side, we see that time, 9:17, so just a little bit after the show ends. The live show ends is when we're going to make this transition. We're going from Leo, a fire sign, into Scorpio, into Virgo, which is an earth sign. Okay? From Leo to Virgo. So Leo's a fire sign, all about ideas. Earth is the combination of the fire, the water, the air that comes together. I like to think of it in terms of practical way we put our energy together, because we use all those energies to create form. The physical world deals with the physical world itself, and so things within the physical world that we are involved with. In this case, the Virgo is related to the tarot card of the Hermit. It represents that idea of providing service, of helping, holding a lantern high for others to see the lessons that we've learned so that we can help them along this path of life. Okay. We have our sun sign still in Pisces, which is a water sign. So we have water now and earth. So think of how those two elements work together, water and earth. That can be really nice. You have an island in the middle of the ocean, or you can have the water overwhelms the land, the earth, and it just dissipates it, or the earth in a small amount of water could really, soak up the water. So there's different ways they can work together. Just think of the ideas, the two words from here, earth, form, and sun, Pisces, water, feelings, emotions. So we have emotions, and then we have practical things. Okay. Sometimes the practical things, you know how it is, they don't want the emotions to get in the way. They just want to, here's what we got to do. No emotions necessary. So we do have a little bit, in a couple hours, we do have a nice, good energy going on between Mercury, which is communication, and Mars, which is action. Mars is also about aggression. It's how we use our energy. If it's put out in one way, it's passionate, very much involved. If it's the other way, it can be very aggressive, warlike. And it's warlike because it's not putting out the energy in a creative sort of way. So that's the result of it. That's why we have all these wars around the world. Instead of being creative in how to deal with our neighbors, we're just wanting to go over and bomb them because we don't understand them. That's not really the right way to go about communicating with somebody. We could do much better off. And so we need to pay attention how Mars is used. Are we going to go to war, or are we going to make love? Which way are we going to go? That's the important question. Now we go from here to the numerology for today, and we have number 6. This is how we've arrived at the number 6. We've got March, which is 3. The 14th is 1 plus 4 is 5. And then a year, 2014, is a 7. So we have a 3 plus a 5 plus a 7. That leaves us a 15. 1 and 5 is 6. So today is a 6 day. Here's some information about the 6. They're responsible, loving, self-sacrificing, protective, sympathetic, compassionate, says these loyal maternal figures are domestic, fair, and idealistic healers or teachers. And we said 6 can overdo its inherent protectiveness and become anxious, worrisome, suspicious, paranoid, emotionally unstable, cynical, or jealous. They tend towards the conventional side. And here we have Gemini and the Lovers. This is the tarot card of the Lovers. You can see that what we have here is the male, the conscious mind, the female, the unconscious mind, the angel, which is the healing force between the male and the female, between the conscious and the unconscious. And we have the unconscious mind here looking towards the angel self, the higher self. The conscious mind here is now told to look towards the unconscious mind so that it can balance itself out. That's the idea. The whole idea behind this card is about discrimination, choices, making the proper choices in life. So today, with the 6-tone energy, we're dealing with an energy that's energy of choices, of balance. Deals with Gemini, so communication. So just think of all the things having to do with 6 that we've talked about, all the ideas, because they're all pretty much similar, and you tie them all together. And as you just go through the day, you're going to discover more things about the meanings and how they apply. And it's not like once you get there you win the prize, because guess what? The days keep going over and over again. And just like yesterday was a 5-tone day, or a 5 numerology, and today's a 6, it's going to come up again over and over and over as long as you're alive. So it's just ways to help us understand what we're doing on a daily basis, understand the energies around us, remember the energy fields that we create and how we work within them. All right, let's continue on here. This week up in the sky, here we've got the evening. Look for Regulus in the sickle of Leo above the almost full moon. So here's the 14th. There's Regulus, and of course the sickle of Leo right down here. Okay, and then the moon this weekend. Here's how we're going to be seeing it. So all this week, as we're looking at the moon, up to the left side of the moon, we're going to see Leo. All right, that's what you're looking up there. And then, of course, Regulus is this one that's right there. Okay, the current moon phase is almost full. We're going to be at a full moon over the course of this weekend. Right now, we're 96% of the way there. The Mayan Oracle has us at a 5-tone day, a 5 eagle, guided by the night. It would be the overtone vision, guided by abundance. We have like-minded energy here of the seed, which is planting ideas. We have the serpent, which is the challenge, our life force energy. And of course, the hidden power is our ability to look at the world of life and death and understand that bridge that is between the two of them. So today we're on the vision aspect, the overtone vision of the wave spell or theme of the monkey, magic, playfulness. The phrase for today is I empower in order to create commanding mind. I seal the output of vision with the overtone, tone of radiance. I am guided by the power of abundance. And of course, as you can still see, we are in the middle pillar. So we're going to be this weekend and half of next week. Okay, over at space weather. Solar wind currently is at 431.5 kilometers per second. The planetary K index has quieted down from yesterday's storm down to between a 1 and a 2. Got this big corona hole down here, one up top, nothing major that's really facing our way. And then our M-class flare, we're up to 80, X-class 15, so we're awaiting something to go on there. And then, of course, geomagnetic storm activity is low. So that's what's going on today. That's the energy we're dealing with as we go out and about into the world. I'll be back. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Let's get over to our stories today. All right, this first one comes to us from the moon via the International Space Station. It says a massive fleet caught by the International Space Station. That's a big fleet. That is a big fleet indeed. It was captured by the NASA cam. It says, watch as a colorful fleet of UFOs is seen from the space station live cam this week. The UFOs actually change colors as they move. This fleet is following two lone UFOs far out ahead of them. It looks like the fleet was caught leaving the dark side of Earth just as the ISS came into view. This is one rare and amazingly beautiful event. All right. So let's check it out here. There we go. We can start to see these trail of UFOs there. How about that, huh? Well, that's pretty fascinating. What do you think they were doing? And where do you think they are going now? So for those who are wondering, as the stories we've read the last couple days have asked, is there intelligent life out there? Well, we can sort of see that there is some intelligent life there. We don't have to go looking far, far, far away because it's right here in our own backyard. And does other life know that we exist? Well, I would guess so as well. So, all right, moving on. Next, that's quite a few. Let's see, can we count how many are in that little grouping here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 8, 9, 33, 1, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8. Wow, there's well over 50 there. That's a good group, and that's just in that section there. Okay, here's a story. Comes to us from Virginia of a mother and a daughter who caught a UFO. There's the image in the sky. CBS 6 has been contacted via email and Twitter about a photo snapped tonight at South Park Mall in Richmond, Virginia that allegedly captured a UFO in the clouds. Erica Skittle said she was with her mother and her sister tonight at the South Park Mall. They were leaving the department store and exited about 6:30 p.m. to a weird and ominous sky. My mom and I took several pictures of the sky, and while we began looking through our pictures, I noticed one of them there was something. Skittle wrote me via email. I had no flash nor a filter, and my mom looked at hers, and she also saw that whatever she had was in one of hers too. According to the National UFO Reporting Center, for as long as they have been keeping records, 1,490 UFOs have been reported in the grand old state of Virginia. The UFO hasn't been reported in the state since February 27th of this year, and that back then was a triangle in Killamuck. All right. Once again. All right, next one here. This is triangle formation caught on film by accident. It takes about 1 minute for the info to show up on Lou's video. Also, it is easier to see the video than the picture to the right. The things you capture by accident, hope you can see it occurring during camera adjustment. The object is way out. Not buying the bird excuse for this one. What you see is what I am reviewing footage. Okay? So this is a 2-minute video. As you said, he was just making some adjustments here when this thing appears to be moving through. That's pretty interesting, huh? Interesting. You can almost, it almost looks like, well, this thing here is a weird thing I'm looking at. It almost looks like a face, doesn't it? When it first comes into view, it looks like the face of a large gray alien. I know that they're looking at this object there, but okay, here's our object. Okay. That was just a weird looking cloud. It's not a big gray alien. Alright, moving on. A small humanoid in MERLO, Argentina. The event discussed here took place over a little over a year ago. Due to personal reasons, the protagonist wished to keep her identity a secret, and I shall refer to her as Patricia in the narrative. On Friday, March 1st, 2013, Patricia, age 27 at the time, was in the kitchen of her house. It was about 15 hours, and having completed some chores, she was taking a break. Patricia's kitchen has a window from which the trees of the neighboring houses can be seen, specifically an avocado tree located in the backyard of a neighboring property. She was looking at the bough of a tree when something caught her attention. According to her story, she saw what she described as a little man staring back at me from between the branches and leaves of the tree. The entity in question was squatting in a squatting position, staring at her fixedly. Alarmed, Patricia ran and called for her husband, who was in another part of their home, to show him what was in the tree. When the husband reached the kitchen and looked through the window, he saw nothing unusual. He tried to calm her down. Patricia was very excited, kept saying, "I swear I saw it. It was in the trees, looking at me." And a few moments later, knowing my interest for events of this sort, she came to my home to tell me the experience. Some hours later, I asked her what she had seen and asked her to give me as faithful a description as possible of the little man, as she called him, and to produce a sketch of the being. She told me at first it reminded her of the character of Gollum from Lord of the Rings saga. She estimated its height around 1 meter. Despite not having seen the figure upright, it was very thin, hairless, and whitish eyes, huddled between the branches of the palta tree. She stressed the fact that it stared fixedly at her. Patricia is quite certain about what she saw. I have known her for many years. She is a person with no interest whatsoever in the UFO phenomena or in strange events, and is not in the least bit fantasy prone. I am remarking this in my blog specifically because of the degree of trust she inspires in me. I do not think the following has anything to do with what Patricia claims to have seen, and I do not know it for a fact, but in the months following the apparition, one of the residents of the house adjacent to the palta tree contacted a serious disease. Weeks later, in 2014, I learned of this person had committed suicide on the account of the malady. Interesting. Okay, let's move on from there to our next story. This one here is the Yucatan. In UFO parlance, a flap means frequent sightings of a spacecraft in the same place for several consecutive days. Throughout history, there have been UFO flaps in various European countries such as England, Italy, the Netherlands, Germany, while the Americas, the United States, having an increased quantity of cases until just the middle of the past century. Mexico occupies the second place in the UFO flap cases, and these have occurred mainly in Toluca, the Federal District, Mexico City, and Puebla, although cases have occurred in Veracruz, Monterrey, and Guadalajara. Yucatan is no exception, and there are 3 cases from various eras have been clearly identified. The first and the most important of these was centered on the Yahuala Lagoon, located a little more than 5 kilometers from the municipality of Hamun. It all began when some farmers claimed to have seen strange lights ascending and descending at the site. Other locals saw this phenomenon in the heavens and did not hesitate to associate it with UFOs, a subject that was basically unheard of in the Yucatan, as there was no serious record. Sightings took place daily, and word spread like gunpowder. People were startled to see that some sort of craft with white lights indeed approached slowly and remained parked some 300 meters over Yahuala Lagoon. Within a week, people from Merida were embarking upon tours to Homin to see the daily sightings with their own eyes. In fact, the craft was so large and came down so low at times that some witnesses claimed seeing little portholes on the craft. It was also said that on 2 occasions a small vessel descended into the lagoon's surface, plunging beneath the water, and was also seen to emerge. Even Televisa and the national media sent correspondents to Yucatan to cover the case, which had great relevance despite the non-existence of the internet or social media, which surely would have caused knowledge of the wave to skyrocket. In the late 80s, another wave took place over the city of Merida, specifically in the confines of the commissants of Sitpach and Cholu. allowing dozens of meridians to see the spacecraft that made irregular and erratic movements one afternoon over a number of days. The third flap in the history of UFOs in the Yucatan occurred at the start of the new millennium. It all began in early July 2004 when Cesar Mata, a resident of Tikal, made a video known to the media. He had recorded it days earlier and showed a UFO flying at low altitude over Colina, San Juan, in the southern end of the state. The recording captures an astonished voices of onlookers as they see the UFO, and Mata wastes no time in jumping on a motorbike to chase the light and record it for a long period of time. A group of experts analyzed the video and confirmed that it was not a hoax, that what was seen that night in the sky was real. And as if it wasn't enough, several people reported seeing the light in Colina San Benito, located at the entrance to Tikal, to one side of the La Cierta. Within days, dozens of people were gathering in the area to see the UFO, which did not fall for its appointed rounds over the area between 9 at night and 2 in the morning. I had a chance to travel to the location where the events played out a few days later, specifically on July 17th. I was accompanied at the time by members of CIFEP. We arrived early, around 6 in the morning, to interview a family living on the slopes of the hills who claimed seeing the UFO on a daily basis. After interviewing Mr. Fidel Chanchuk, the head of the household, we went to the upper part of the hill, and a few hours later, after dark, the gentleman and one of his sons shouted, "There goes the UFO!" But when I looked skyward, I saw it was just an airliner. When I started to believe that this was what perhaps they were seeing every day, and it was all a false alarm, they shouted again, "There goes the UFO," and they were not mistaken. Along with my colleagues, I was able to see an object only somewhat larger than an airplane, but entirely circular, an orange light that turned on and off irregularly. We weren't in the summit of the hill, and the panoramic view was perfect. The UFO made a sort of circle in the sky before making a U-turn. The UFO was seen for 12 consecutive days until it vanished forever, and the description was always the same by residents from Meridia, nearby municipalities, and even other states, as well as national and international journalists who also came to cover the case and were able to see it. Okay, good story. Here we have a report of an investigation manual you should know about. UFO Investigation Manual is a comprehensive guide to unidentified flying objects from 1892 to today. It takes the subject seriously and factually, not judging, but only presenting the facts as they were reported. There are chapters describing the most notable reported sightings of UFOs, UFO classifications, evidence of landings, collections of stories from supposed abductees, and the thing that would have helped my speech, explanations of all these 7 types of close encounters. Plus, if the reader feels that his book isn't complete, there are appendices that explain how to produce a UFO investigation report, as well as the tools and material needed for UFO watching. UFO Investigations Manual is really must-have for anyone with an interest in space and the supernatural. It's an entertaining and educational read that doesn't try to mock believers or argue against skeptics. It gives an all-encompassing overview of the fascinating realm of aliens. Whether you lean more towards the Mulder or Scully end of the I want to believe spectrum, the manual will give you plenty to think about. And here we got a link that'll take you right to that page. You could find out all about it. Actually, if you want to order the book, you could do that. Right? Now, here's a piece. It's something for you to watch. It's 31 minutes long. I'm just going to read this part up here for you. But can you believe it's been 17 years since the Phoenix Lights? Rick welcomes Dr. Lynn Cattell to the program in the celebration of the 17th anniversary of the Phoenix Lights, coming up on March 13th, 2014. Dr. Lynn discusses her work regarding the historic UFO case, her new book, as well as the celebration activities planned for Sunday, March 16th. So that's coming up. Doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, 17 years. But yes, indeed it was. All right, that is our UFO news. I'll be back in just a bit with some more. Here we go.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace. Spirit, send down your love, send down your love, send down your love to us from above. Oh, 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 oh. Great Spirit, shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your light to light our way. Great Spirit, shine down your light, shine down your light, shine down your light to light our way. Oh, 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 oh. Great Spirit, show us the way, show us the way, show us the way to live in peace every day. Great Spirit, show us the way, show us the way, show us the way to live in peace every day. Oh, 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 oh. The wheel of life keeps rolling, rolling, rolling round and round, round and round. Nothing you can do will stop it, stop it. Nothing will slow it down. You gotta keep on going, going strong, going strong. You gotta keep believing and keep moving on. Oh, 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 oh. Great Spirit, send down your love, shine down your light, show us the way each and every day. Great Spirit, send down your love, shine down your light, show us the way each and every day. Oh, 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 oh,
All right, welcome back. So, let's do a little bit of math, shall we? Math? What do you mean, math? Today is Pi Day. Pi Day, not pie as in eating a pie, but pi as in PI. Not Magnum PI, but PI as in what you learn in school, math. That's right, math. Pi Day is an annual celebration commemorating the mathematical constant pi. Pi Day is observed on March 14th, or 314 in the United States, according to that format, since 3.1 and 4 are the most significant digits of pi in the decimal form. In 2009, the United States House of Representatives supported the designation of Pi Day. In the year 2015, Pi Day will have special significance. Well, we'll find out then. I guess because it's 31415. Aha. Pi Approximation Day is observed July 22nd, since the fraction 22/7 is a common approximation of pi. The earliest official known large-scale celebration, Pi Day, was organized by Larry Shaw in 1988 at the San Francisco Exploratorium, where Shaw worked as a physicist with staff and public marching around one of its circular spaces, then consuming fruit pies. The Exploratorium continues to hold Pi Day celebrations. On March 12, 2009, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a non-binding resolution recognizing March 14th as National Pi Day. For Pi Day, Google presented a Google Doodle celebrating the holiday with the word Google laid over the images of circles and pi symbols. Pi Day has been observed in many ways, including eating pie, throwing pies, and discussing the significance of the number pi. some schools and competitions as to which students can recall pi to the highest number of decimal places. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology has often mailed its application decision letters to prospective students for delivery on Pi Day. Starting in 2012, MIT has announced that it will post those decisions privately online on Pi Day at exactly 6:28 p.m., which they have called Tau time, in order to honor the rival numbers pi and tau equally. The town of Princeton, New Jersey hosts numerous events in a combined celebration of Pi Day and Albert Einstein's birthday, which is also today, March 14th. Einstein lived in Princeton for more than 20 years while working at the Institute for Advanced Study. In addition to eating pie and recitation contests, there is an annual Einstein look-alike contest. All right, well, there you have it. So we have pi, we have Einstein today. It's a good day, so go find some pi and then talk about pi. We're going to talk about pi right now. It says pi is a day celebrated on March 14th around the world. Pi, there's the Greek letter for it right here, is the symbol used in mathematics to represent a constant, the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter, which is approximately 3.14159. Pi has been calculated to over 1 trillion digits beyond its decimal point. As an irrational and transcendental number, it will continue infinitely without repetition or pattern. While only a handful of digits are needed for typical calculations, Pi's infinite nature makes it a fun challenge to memorize and to computationally calculate more and more digits. Okay, it says learn about pi, so let's learn about pi. Okay, well, we'll come back to that one. Here's one. This is called Welcome to teachpi.org. Welcome to the first and the best place from the web for teachers who want to find and share ideas for Pi Day activities, learning, and entertainment. We believe that promoting an enthusiasm for learning through celebration and creativity will lead others to a richer classroom environment and a deeper appreciation of mathematics and more. Let's go back over here. Okay, Pi Day celebrated March 14th around the world. Pi is the symbol used in mathematics to represent a constant, 3.14159. Okay. We're still at the same place. It's not learning about pi. It's not getting us there. So I'm going to have to leave this website for you to go and navigate on your own, because there's apparently a lot of people moving around. Oh, here we go. Okay. Pi is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Pi is the constant number, meaning that for all circles of any size, pi will be the same. The diameter of a circle is the distance from edge to edge. Measuring straight through the center, the circumference of a circle is the outside distance. Okay? So we're saying this is the outside right here. Here's the circle. By measuring the circular objects, it has always turned out that the circle is a little more than 3 times its width around. In the Old Testament of the Bible, 1 Kings 7:23, a circular pool is referred to as being 30 cubits around and 10 cubits across. The mathematician Archimedes used polygons with many sides to approximate circles and determined that pi was approximately 22/7. The symbol, or the Greek letter pi, was first introduced in 1706 by William Jones. A P was chosen for perimeter of circles, and the use of the symbol, the pi symbol, became popular after it was adopted by Swiss mathematician Leonhard Euler in 1737. In recent years, pi has been calculated to over 1 trillion digits past its decimal. Only 39 digits past the decimal are needed to accurately calculate the spherical volume of our entire universe. But because of pi's infinite 8-patternless nature, it's a fun challenge to memorize and to computationally calculate more and more digits. It says the number pi is extremely useful when solving geometry problems involving circles. Here are some examples. The area of a circle. The area of a circle represented by A equals pi r squared. R is the radius. That's the distance from the center of the edge of the circle. Also, this formula is the origin of the joke, pies aren't square, they're round. And also for the volume of a cylinder, we have the volume equals pi r squared h. To find the volume of a rectangular prism, you calculate the length, x, times the width, times the height. In that case, x is the width and the area of the side, which is then multiplied by the height of the prism. Similarly, to find the volume of a cylinder, you calculate the area of the base, then multiply that by the height of the cylinder. Alright, so you learn all about pi there. And then here's this other site back over here, teachpi.org, and has recommendations on books and things you could do for Pi Day and so on and so forth. Alright, so I thought you'd find that interesting since this is what today's all about. Myself, I'm not really much on the whole math as far as being good at it. I think it's very important, but this isn't something that is so smooth to me. The numerology is a lot easier, but when it gets into this, but I think it's a very fascinating concept that you got a number that just goes on and on and on and on and on. Just amazing what we have in the universe. People say that things are just random. Well, is it just random that this goes on and on like this? Or is it something a bit more? Okay. We're going to switch gears here from pi to the book of Revelation. And in the book of Revelations, it talks about the dragon, the great dragon, and the battle with Michael, Archangel Michael. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. This is part of a series they've got going on here, so we'll catch up on a couple of them. It says some theologians say it is not the devil or the demons who created evil, but that they were cast forth from heaven by the orders of good angels for their pride. There are many cultures, such as the Hebrew, Assyrian, Greek, Egyptian, and Arabian, which agree with these theologians. Pharisees and Syrian describe the fall of the devils, and that Orpheon, that is, the devilish serpent, was the head of the rebelling army, an army whose origins are from Athens and the island of Crete, Greece. The connection of the devilish serpent who ruled the rebelling armies can be traced back to the time before Rome had become a superpower, when Greece had ruled much of the world. The first law-giving king that held the office of Archon in the capital of Greece in Athens was named Draco. He had given the Athenians the first written laws in blood, and this is the time when draconian laws were introduced to the world. From the same name of Draco, we get the modern English word dragon, a name that means large serpent. The ancient Greeks and Egyptians, like many other cultures around the world, had venerated the serpent, and in particular a serpent god that I believe to be the great dragon found in the Bible. In the book of Ezekiel, the Bible calls the king of Egypt a great dragon that lies in the midst of the rivers. In ancient Greek mythology, there was a dragon king known by the Latin name of Ophion. The meaning of Ophion is serpent, and in Hebrew, Nakash. He was also known as the serpent. He was also known as one of the 5 builders of the Thebes, and the first Titan kings who ruled over the whole world from the sacred mountain called today Mount Ida. And in mythology, Mount Olympus, located in the holy island of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea. Said the whole race of Titans were subject to the serpent king and the great dragon who is known as Ophion. It was said that Ophion had enlightened man. In Egypt, serpents were called agathral demons, a name that means good demons. From Crete, Greece, and into Egypt, these were the lands where the great dragon Ophion had ruled with his queen of the Titans, Irnome. The meaning of his queen's name, Irnome, is wide ruling. Hence, Together with his queen, the serpent Ophin, the dragon, is wide ruling. Now, many people today are aware that Crete was also at one time the most important sacred islands in all the world. Crete was once called Arcadia, and the people, the Arcadians, children of the Ark of the Covenant. Crete was also known by Khufu by the ancient Egyptians, who called them also by the name of the Sea Peoples. In the Bible, it also is known under the Hebrew Kaftor or Kaptor, and the Arabs had called it Kent. The Latins changed the name to Cappadocia, and later the Europeans had named it Candia. After the Turks conquered the islands, they changed the name of the island to its current name, Kurt, which is Greek for the English word Crete. In the Bible, they are known as the Canaanites, Amorites, and the Philistines. In myth, they are known as the Minoans, and in history, they are often called the Phoenicians. For thousands of years, the Cretans, with their serpent god, had played a huge role in forming the world we see today. They invented maritime commerce and international trade through the mastery of arts, crafts, and the sea as their first true navy that had operated through the vast network of cities around the world, such as Knossos, Athens, Thebes, Rome, and Sicily. After all, the name Crete is derived from the Greek word kriti, which means creation. The meaning of the English word Crete is to form out of nothing, to cretium, cause to exist, hence fiat lux. Crete is also known in myth as the birthplace and home to the greatest of all gods, Zeus, whose mother was there in a cave in Mount Ida by his mother, Rhea. It was here where the infant Zeus had entrusted the care of the priesthood of Jupiter. Pliny had mentioned that they were called the Curetes. The Curetes are also known by several names, such as the priest of Pan, priest of Cybele, Lupercia, Cybontes, Dactyes, Cabiri, and Technes. In myth, Crete is the home of the mythical king of Minos and the Minoans. The meaning of the name Minos is the son of Zeus. Several Cretan kings were known to have taken the name Minos. The Minions would be the children of Zeus, who are also known mythologically as the Titans. In Greek mythology, the Titans were a primeval race of powerful deities, descendants of Gaia and Jupiter, that ruled among the legendary Golden Age. They were immortal giants of incredible strength and were also the first pantheon of Greek gods and goddesses. The whole race of Titans were subject to the Serpent King and the great dragon, who is known as Ophion. These, who were the ancient Greeks, had called gods, goddesses, demons in mythology, Titans. Both Ophion and Eurynomi, who some people would call today in English demons. To the Greeks of old, these demons were not all evil and all bad. If you research the true meaning of the English word demon, you will find that it comes from the Latinized version, daemon, and daemon, which is derived from the original Greek. I don't know what that is. According to Plato in his Crotelius, the etymology of daemon, daemonos, means knowing, wise, or intelligent. Manly P. Hall wrote about these demons and the views of the Christian Church in his book, The Secret Teachings of the Ages. The Christian Church gathered all the elemental entities together under the title of demon. This is a misnomer, and with far-reaching consequences, for to the average mind, the word demon means an evil thing, and the nature spirits are essentially no more malevolent than they are the mineral plants or animals. Many of the early church fathers asserted that they had met and debated with the elementals. Some of these good, wise demons were considered as gods to the ancient Titans, whom they had venerated, such as Ophion and Eurynomi. According to Plutarch, that according to the divine natures and justice, the souls of virtuous men are advanced to the rank of daemons, and that from the daemons, if they are properly purified, they are exalted into gods, not by any political institution, but according to right reason. Hesiod said that when these happy men of the first and golden age of the world were deprived of this life, great Jupiter promoted them to be daemons, that is, keepers and protectors or patrons of early mortals and overseers of their good and evil works. Plato said this about the daemons, that when the great leader Jupiter drove his chariot swiftly into the heavens, He marches first, as disposing and taking care of all things. A vast host of gods and daemons then follow, distributed into 12 parties, but the Vesta alone remains in the mansion of the gods. They had ruled the world from Crete until they were eventually dethroned by the gods Kronos and the goddess Rhea, who had banished the Titans from the darkness of the earth-enriching river Oceanus. The event is described in mythology of Apollonius and Rhodes. In his Argonautica, summarizes the story of Orpheus. He sang how the earth, the heaven, and the sea once mingled together in one form, after deadly strife were separated each from the other, and how the stars and the moon and the parts of the sun ever kept their fixed place in the sky, and how the mountains rose, and how the resounding rivers and the nymphs came into being, and the creeping things. And he sang how first of all Ophion and Eurymne, daughter of Oceanus, held the sway of the snowy Olympus, and how through the strength of arm one yielded his prerogative to Kronos and the other to Rhea, and how they fell into the waves of Oceanus. But the other two meanwhile ruled over the blessed Titan gods, while Zeus, still a child, and with the thoughts of a child, dwelt in the Dictaean cave, and the earth-born Cyclopes had not yet armed him with the bolt, with the thunder and lightning, for these things give renown to Zeus. Okay, we see a lot more to this. And it says here, it says Crete is the same holy land and sacred mountain where the god Zeus was hidden in a cave by his mother, who was also the goddess of the earth, Rhea. She hid him there in order to protect Zeus from his vengeful father, Kronos. It was here, on the island of Crete, where Rhea had entrusted the care and the education of the infant Zeus to the priesthood of Jupiter, or also known by many other names, such as the priest of Pan, Ophirites, Idaean, Dactyl, Luperci, Ceratos, and Thixians, to name a few. After they were conquered and banished by the Romans, these same priests eventually had become part of the Roman Empire as the Levites. In the century doctor of the Catholic Church, the father of English history, the Venerable Saint Bede, had written on the Levitites and connected to the Catholic Church in his book. Okay, so we can continue on here. There's a lot more to this. But very interesting about this study, certainly, of who is the great dragon of Revelation. We hear all these stories all the time, and we know that, they're not always represented the way they should be. And so, we need to use our discernment as we go through life to find out what are the real stories, what aren't, what's false, what's true. The same thing today when we turn on the news. So whether it's an old spiritual tale or not, we really need to use our discernment to be able to decide for ourselves what's going on, because there are so many stories in the world of who's good guys, who's the bad guys, and anyway, something to figure out. Okay, this is from a forum. I found a bunch of pictures here that I thought were pretty cool. This site says 25 maps to help you understand your world. Okay, this is over at a forum called Above Top Secret. And just something someone posted, but it's going through there really makes a lot of sense. This is a map. The world divided into 7 sections, with each section containing 1 billion people. Here we have, this is all of Australia. 98% of Australia population lives in this white areas here. There are more people living inside this circle than out of it. Here we said, this map shows what it is on the other side of the world from where you are standing. For the most part, is probably water. Apparently, you can't get Big Macs everywhere. This map shows in red the countries that have McDonald's. Look at that, it's amazing. This is where countries where people drive on the left side of the road, the ones in blue. This map shows countries in white that England has never invaded. Here's the internet connections in 1969. This shows the countries that have restricted internet access in 2013. Countries that were all communist at one point. Countries that don't use the metric system. Places where Google Street View is available. Landlocked countries of the world. This is what the world would look like if the coastlines sank. All the rivers in the United States, a lot of rivers. All the rivers that feed into the Mississippi River. This one is something. The highest paid public employees. It's kind of strange. You go from state to state to state. Look at, they're all sports coaches. Hawaii's got a college president. Got a college president up here. But mainly got basketball coaches, football coaches, here, plastic surgeon. That's crazy. The map shows you how much space the United States would occupy on the moon. The map shows the longest straight line you can sail. Goes from Pakistan all the way around to Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia for a total of 20,000 miles. 19th century shipping lanes. Every country that has ever operated an aircraft carrier. This is the countries with the most skyscrapers. This map shows the world's largest donors of foreign aid. And this is most photographed places in the world. Places where you can easily get eaten by a great white shark. That's a good one to know if you don't want to get eaten by a shark. So, all right. Pretty interesting, huh? Interesting pictures, interesting maps. Check it out. All right. We keep hearing about an event. If you keep hearing about an event, I do. Not just a television show, but in life, people say there's this event that's going to happen. The event. What is this event that we keep hearing about? Many people on a spiritual awakening path have been waiting for the event to happen in our reality. Is it possible that this is created as an external distraction used to steer your attention away from the transformation that is occurring inside of you? Or will there be a real event that triggers the shift into another sense of reality? The term event has many uses in the metaphysical and spiritual world. In one form or another, the event is usually referred to something that will suddenly happen, that could wake up humanity with an undeniable force, allowing them to come out of their slumber, to trigger a consciousness shift, a major shift in dimensions, to trigger a shift within our DNA and perfection of the human body, to trigger a global financial crash and reset based on global backed currency, to eliminate the veils between dimensions, to result in first contact and disclosure with ETs, cause of a major natural disaster and upset life as we know it on this planet, a result in mass arrest of the ruling criminals that are killing people and taking away our free will. There have been many events that have occurred in the world, qualify as game changers on this planet. The following are some examples of events that could have had an impact on humanity if they were awake enough to take action against the perpetrators. Exposing chemtrails, exposing Monsanto, the proof of weather modification and disaster of Fukushima, exposing the truth in 9/11, exposing of fluoride through major peer-reviewed journal, the banking industry collapse of 2008, all world wars, evidence of UFOs on camera and with personal testimony, a major shift in vibrational frequency on December 21st and beyond is witnessed in the Schumann resonance, and the overall unrest and police state around the world. That's true. If we were all aware of these are all big events that will change the world as they go. And then, of course, questions, what am I here to do? People want to know and look. And we get down here and it says the very jobs and spiritual awakening and responsibilities vary much as the races of beings on the planet. Sometimes it can be helpful to get help from an oracle or psychic who can help you tie into your Akashic records or to speak to your guides to give you some kind of direction in figuring out your highest path. However, the best way you can get this information is listening to yourself. Many say we are unduly close to a major event, such as a global financial collapse or a major disclosure about extraterrestrials. May it be so, but perhaps the event can be triggered by loving oneself and treating each other as you would want to be treated. Do things that bring joy into your life and pull yourself out of the negative situations and thoughts. Positive intentions for change are more powerful than greed and money that controls us and will trigger us and will be what triggers any event that could change our world. And that's real important. So many things go on. We always have this feeling that we need to do something outside. Something outside of ourselves has to happen. And that's what we're all hoping for, because that will be a trigger event that we'll all see. But we also all have to go inside and know that what is happening is already happening. So waiting for something to happen, well, it's happening. We're in the midst of the happening. So we need to just turn our attention to it, be aware of that. All right, here's a message for today. Pleiadian message to Lightworkers, New Earth Rising. So what happens on Earth now will affect many worlds. You have come here to create a great shift. This is a time of the Great Awakening. A new world is rising. As many ancient cultures predicted, one day the gods will come back. We are returning. This is the beginning of a new age. A golden age on planet Earth. All right. So there you go. I'm going to leave the message there because it's one of the ones that I have to read, and well, it doesn't have the same effect. Anyway, I'm going to move forward to our meditation for today, taking in those ideas of what was put in that channeled message. Again, just another confirmation of changes taking place. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale again. Now contemplate the words of today's affirmation. I'm alive with love in my heart. I'm grateful for every moment. I am alive with love in my heart. I'm grateful for every moment. Take another deep breath and just contemplate those ideas. Contemplate the aliveness in your heart. Contemplate your oneness with life. And imagine yourself now walking along the path of life, seeing others out on the path, enjoying time walking along. And just know that we live in a world of many possibilities. And as you contemplate and just think about all the possibilities, you realize that what the outside world shows us is not always the same as what is going on in the inside world. For the outside world can be controlled and directed by other forces, other humans. That we live in a world, a reality, in which we create an energetic field around us. But when we close our eyes and go inside, we step away from all that this outside world is showing us, and we go inside to a world where others cannot change. And we go in, and as we do, we find the calm and the peace inside. We realize that as we practice going into this calm space, at first we notice a lot of chatter that just collects as we go throughout the day, from the radios and the television and the people that we walk past. And so we just allow these thoughts and this chatter just to drift away out of our minds. And as we do so, things become still, quiet, peaceful. And just feel this peacefulness. And let this feeling of peacefulness flow throughout your body till it becomes overfilled. And then it spills out around you, into the world around you. And imagine this peacefulness filling the room in which you are in at this moment, or the place where you are. And imagine it extending out further and further into the world. And imagine all around the world, people putting out the vibration of peace. And as you're putting out that peacefulness, add into the mix a little bit of love. And just allow that feeling to go around. And as you do, just think about this upcoming weekend, this full moon that we're experiencing. Just think about this weekend, and just think about people having a good time, laughing, having fun. Think about peacefulness around the planet. And just think about how, without any problems or challenges, all of those who are against peace just disappear, fade into non-existence. And we just continue moving on in peaceful, happy ways. So let's just imagine this planet as a happy, peaceful place, filled with love. And just imagine this. And let your subconscious mind go on that journey of exploring that and bringing that into reality. And let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's the show for today. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the full moon. And enjoy Pi Day. I'll talk to you next week. Peace. I'm out of here.